I love making something out of nothing. I'm not trained, but I am brave and determined. Of course, I could hire a professional, but DIY first. Hey y'all, welcome back to part 2 of the mobile workbench. So this is where we left off. This is the base level of the bench. I still have not attached the top to the bottom because I do want to do some modifications, and I think it would just be easier to do that before I attach the top. So if I need to slide something in from the top, I'll be able to access that. And also, I think I'm going to countersink and screw the top down. I can use brad nails, but I think countersinking and screwing would make it a stronger connection. But also, if I want to replace the top, that'll be easy to do. I can just unscrew it and replace it. So that's the plan. But I do want to talk you through the plan for modifying. In the last video, I asked for some suggestions. Then immediately I went and kind of came up with my own ideas. So this is what I came up with. Obviously, I don't think this is going to make sense on camera. So I'll kind of have to show you, like, this is what I sketched. If that makes sense. That's kind of what I came up with. So basically what this is, it's right here. This is kind of like dust collection. And then on this opposite side, I did some shelving that comes out on the short side, and then some drawers or shelves or something like here in between those two. Over here is where the table saw will be. It won't be connected. I'm going to leave it separate. It will be over here. And then on this side, I have pull out paper to cover the top. So that'll be for glue ups and things like that. If I'm going to be doing glue or stain or something like that, just something there to protect the top since it is just plywood. I think ideally I could have covered it with a laminate sheet, just put laminate on top, and that'll make it easy to clean. I haven't done that before, and also that's extra money. So plywood it is. We're just going to do a plywood top on it. But let me tell you also, let me show you. So I do want to have power going to the bench. On Amazon, I ordered this heavy duty power strip. This has 8 imports, and as you can see here, these are close together, but these are spaced out more, so that allows for bigger plugs to fit in here. Looks like it'll be easy to attach with these just hangers on the back. And I think this is a 6-foot cord. Obviously this is a surge protector, so it has the on off switch, so that should come in handy. In addition to that, I got this other switch. So this is a switch that will allow me to plug in the table saw and the shop vac, and it will make them come on at the same time. So if I just have to turn one thing on, I don't have to worry about forgetting to turn on the shop vac for the dust collection. It'll just come on automatically whenever the table saw is turned on. And it'll turn off automatically as well when the table saw is turned off. So we're gonna try this out and see how this works. I don't know if I sound different or not. I've been under the weather, so that's kind of thrown my work schedule off a little bit. I've just been trying to, you know, make sure I'm taking care of myself. I've been in the house for the last 2 or 3 days, so it's like, let me just go outside for a minute and get some air. So I thought I would just kind of give you an update before I actually start working. Maybe I'll do some work today, I don't know, but I just had to get out of the house. So I got the little wheelie things. It's smaller than I thought. But this is the panel wheels thing that I was telling you about. And I went ahead and ordered the other thing that's sort of like the gator grip that one of the commenters was telling me about. I think it works the same way as the gator grip, but this was a lot cheaper. It's a Craig jig, and it's a lot cheaper on Amazon. So I got these two, and so what I'm thinking is if I clamp this on the top of one side and put these on the bottom of the other side, it should be easier to kind of roll them around and maneuver. We'll see. I'll give it a test out and see if it's worth it or not. Hey guys, it's been a few days since I last talked to you guys. As I said before, I've been under the weather, but I'm starting to feel a little better. I'm probably about 90%. So I decided to come out and try to get some work done. I am, as usual, I'm just kind of winging this thing. I'm piecing things together. In my mind, I kind of have an idea, but I do reserve the right to change my mind. But I'm gonna go ahead and see what I can do today to make the modifications that I had in my mind for the workbench. I do kind of want to start to use some of this scrap and some of the things that I have here in the garage to just basically to get them out of the way. Yeah, I'm gonna see what I can come up with today and get some work done. I came out earlier to the garage to try to do some work, and the plan was to do the part 2 of the workbench. Let me show you what happened. This is my new shop vac. I bought this shop vac to go under the workbench to be used as dust collection for the table saw. I actually filmed all of this earlier, but for some reason the footage disappeared, so here we are in the afternoon redoing things. But I started to kind of put things together, and I was like, well, let me just, looks kind of big, let me test this thing out. It's too big to fit under the workbench. So this is not going to work. I'm not going to be able to execute my original plan of putting dust collection under the workbench for the table saw. So what I've decided to do is pivot. I'm going to make a cart that the dust collection can sit on, because I do have the bucket with the top separator part to it as well. I can bring it over to the table saw and connect it when I need to, but it can live under the miter saw. That's what I'm thinking. In light of that, I feel like I need to rethink and reprocess the workbench part 2 situation. What I decided to do is a complete pivot. I decided to move on to this back wall where the miter saw station and all of that storage is going to be. Behind me is the tall cabinet. What I was hoping is that I can pull this cabinet off the wall somehow without destroying it. I don't know if I can do it. Also, this shelf up here is going to have to be demoed first. That shelf runs directly into this cabinet. We're pivoting once again. This is what happens when you just kind of have to go with the flow, and I'm kind of making things up as I go. So if it seems kind of chaotic, maybe it's chaotic in here, but hopefully everything will come together and make sense and work, you know, in the way that I envisioned it in my head. So I'm gonna see if I can get this cabinet off of this wall. Update on this cabinet. I can't talk. All right, so I think I figured out how they put it together. So the back wall is the exterior wall, or this is the garage wall on both sides, and this board at the bottom is the baseboard around the whole garage. So they basically built the structure around, so it's basically just this shell with a side and a top and a front plate. So I think I've gotten it separated, so maybe I'll be able to turn it and repurpose it. That's what I'm going to try to do, but I think I've gotten it pretty much separated from the wall itself. Maybe I can turn it without it falling apart. I did take off the what seemed to be support pieces, so I'm hoping that I can move it and it not just crumble. So I think potentially this was a good idea and a success. We will see once I get this whole thing situated. folks, I think I'm at a crossroad here. I'm at a point now where I feel like I need to make a decision to either continue trying to salvage this piece or start over from scratch. And I'm at a point now where I'm almost feeling like it would be easier to just start over. Because of the way this was constructed, it looks like it was built in place maybe. Pieces were like, there's a piece of wood that's attached that nails were driven into, and then another piece on top of that that nails were also driven into. The screws for the hinges on the doors was screwed into the piece of wood. So to take out the front piece means that I'm also ripping it out from the hinges and from the other piece that it's sandwiched up to. And basically this whole side of this piece is, I mean, if I keep going, this whole side is going to collapse. Starting over might be the way to go. So now the question is, do I feel like doing that tonight or not? Being sick kind of wipes your energy out. So it just takes a little time to bounce back fully, you know, bounce back 100%. And usually when I get sick, my energy kind of gets low. So it takes a little while to build my energy back up. Probably would be better if I actually worked out, but I don't know. Okay, I think my final decision is I'm gonna scrap this. I may reuse some pieces, but I'm gonna scrap it and build from the ground up. That's what I'm gonna do. Final answer, done. I feel like I'm overthinking and I'm kind of psyching myself out. I'm trying to think of how to put the structure together in a way that makes sense, but that's the easiest to prevent me from having to do extra cuts and things, and that'll be sturdy and stable. So I don't know, maybe I need to step away for a second, think about it, and maybe come back tomorrow and see if I can come up with a plan between now and then. Just kind of maybe sketch something out. I didn't actually plan to be doing this today, so that's part of the reason why I'm kind of struggling a little bit, because I kind of had to pivot at the last minute and I didn't actually get a chance to think through this project before I started it. So the base is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and see if this piece of wood will fit to cover the base, and I may try to take this piece apart break it down more as well to see if there are some pieces of plywood or things that I can salvage and reuse and kind of save a little bit on materials that way. But can't find my gloves. I had them earlier and now I don't know where they are. So I mean, the garage is a catastrophe. I took everything out of this cabinet and now it's everywhere, and it's just incentive to just keep going and get this thing in order, I guess. So yeah, let me get my mind right and I'll come back to this.